I'm Angelica Sahona, a geologist of the Mines and Geosciences Bureau. I will try to explain to you how to read, understand, and appreciate a geohazard map. But first, let us try to picture what this geohazard map is. A geohazard map is a specialized kind of map wherein a specific geological hazard is identified in a given area. Geologists also study the slope or relief of the area, the kind of rock, and the presence of faults or break in the Earth's crust. This is a computer-generated map that is very easy to understand. Geologists of the Mines and Geosciences Bureau generate these maps for public use. But how is it really made? The geologists with acquired expertise in this field generated these maps by overlaying several data acquired from several parameters, including interpretation of aerial photographs and satellite images, compiled geologic reports and data, and direct field investigation. Now let's have a look at the different parts of the geohazard map. This is the flood susceptibility map of Eastern Rizal Province, covering the 10 cities of Tanay, Baras, Morong, Binangonan, Angono, Taytay, Cainta, Marikina, San Mateo, and Rodriguez. And this is the title. This is the scale bar. The numbered bar in millimeters represent the distance in kilometer. This is the legend. It is represented by different colors, lines, and curves. This is the index map. It shows the relative location of the area represented in the map. This is the reference. It is a list containing the sources of information used to make the geohazard map. You can always refer back to these reports if you want more written information about the area. The authors are the people responsible for the generation of the map. In this case, all the authors come from the Mines and Geosciences Bureau. Funding for this endeavor comes from the United Nations Development Program. And finally, the map itself. After learning the different parts of the geohazard map, I will show you the different features that you will meet inside the map. Let's take a look at the legend. Here, the red box indicates high susceptibility, meaning the areas in red are at high risk to flooding. The brownish yellow box indicates moderate susceptibility. The purple color indicates low susceptibility. And the light yellow means no susceptibility. Areas prone to tidal flood are identified in the map. These are the areas around the Laguna de Bay that are below 2 meters above sea level. Bodies of water are also seen in a map. In this map, you will see the Laguna de Bay, as well as rivers such as the Marikina and the Wawa rivers and its tributaries. Lastly, these close polygons and lines represent the built-up communities, infrastructures, and roads in the area. Now that you already have an idea what a geohazard map is, I will now give you an example on how to use it. The possible questions that will come up your mind if you are presented this map are: Where is my property situated? Is my place safe from flooding? If not, where can I possibly transfer? And what other important considerations do I need to know if I want to choose a better place to stay permanently? On our previous slides, we see that said area where your property is situated is highly susceptible to flooding and prone to tidal flood. This is not only true to the Santo Niño area, but also to those villages along the Laguna de Bay in blue color. But how are geologists able to come up with such conclusions? They base their studies on researches and reports and come up with the following reasons. Your area is composed of fluvial sediments. The drainage density is high. Your property lies in a flat to low-lying area. You are situated in an area which is only 2 meters above sea level and is therefore very prone to tidal flood. Now that you know these facts, you might start to find a safer place where flooding susceptibility is either moderate, low, or none. The map shows that your area is in the low susceptibility zone. Didn't you know that the civil and structural engineers take into consideration the earthquakes in designing the strength of our building materials? Based on the National Structural Code of the Philippines, all infrastructure in the Philippines except in Palawan should have a minimum ground acceleration factor equal to 0.4 G. The G factor is a number derived from a formula that calculates the ground acceleration in an area. Based on this, engineers are required by law to design the strength of our building and houses that will withstand expected seismic ground motions. Therefore, based on our legend, all infrastructures built on areas that fall above the 0.4 G factor zone should exceed the specifications of the National Structural Code of the Philippines. Limestone is a highly soluble rock in which caverns or open caves can form. Collapse of the roofs of these caverns will create subsidence called sinkholes, creating a karst topography. Another type of subsidence is due to ground settlement. This means that the underground materials are slowly and gradually collapsing due to the kind of materials deposited, their environment of deposition, and the density of the infrastructure or solid structures built in the area. There are, however, ways to avoid this subsidence in your area. Consult a geotechnical engineer before building heavy houses. Be sure to strictly follow the design of your foundation and not use substandard materials. And lastly, do not extend your house upwards without consulting a civil engineer. Now, based on all the geohazard maps presented to you, you know that your property is relatively safe from landslide, likely to experience flooding and tidal flood, likely to experience subsidence, and lies in a 0.5 G factor area and is near an active fault. You have to study these factors and need to think twice. The aim of the Mines and Geosciences Bureau in coming up with several geohazard maps is not to scare, but rather to inform and guide residents or would-be residents of a particular area. To see the bigger picture or characteristics of an area in terms of its geologic environment, serving as a guide for constructing your homes, and most of all, in preparing and guiding you in identifying safe routes or grounds in case of extreme weather. The welfare and safety of your family and property all depend on you.